Welcome, Otis Rolley. What's the word? How's the campaign going?
Campaign is going well. We were out in the street canvassing yesterday. I think it was the hottest day in Baltimore so far this summer, and it was good. People. The good thing was Memorial Day, so a lot of folks were home and they were responsive. A lot of people were also really good neighbors, offering us water and drink and they were excited about the fact that we were knocking on their doors. It was really cool to get the response of some seniors, young people, old people. They were saying, many of them were saying that they hadn't seen someone knock on their doors in a long time, and they were excited about the opportunity for some change. People are really frustrated right now with the current leadership or lack thereof, and they were open to some of the ideas that we were talking about.
One of the things I was talking with Darren Muhammad yesterday, and he brought out that the city of Baltimore will take your house for a water bill. Is this so?
It's a sad reality, but yes, it is
Are you
so.
serious?
I am as serious as a heart attack, and sometimes you feel like you're going to get a heart attack when you have a water bill of $150 and that you can lose your home that costs 100 times, 1,000 times that much, and it can be taken away for a late water bill.
Why is this happening? I'm confused because when I think, excuse me, when I think of this president 45 minutes down the road, I see him doing, creating policies, doing actions, making moves that seem to show a level of empathy with the people.
Hmm.
No doubts the banks did get bailed out, but quite honestly, experts would argue that this country was on the brink of financial disaster.
Hmm.
So something had to be done. But I'm looking at these houses. Is it necessary to take somebody's house? I mean, I've been here 45, going on 46 years. I've never heard that.
Well,
Did I miss
I'm
something?
happy you mentioned empathy, and particularly in reference to our president, because I think that's real leadership. A leader who can empathize and sympathize with the people that they're supposed to be serving.
When I saw him down at Bowie, he stopped speaking to make sure that medical attention got to some older people that fell out.
And that's real leadership. And I think when we talk about homes being taken away due to the late water bills, it's really a symptom of a larger problem. We have leadership in this city that does not sympathize or empathize with the people that they're supposed to serve. The gentleman, I think it was Don, who just called up and was talking about his frustration with what he said was elitist leadership within the city, and that's why he was thinking about supporting one of the other candidates. And I think that's a real feeling. When I'm knocking on doors, when I'm talking to people, they are so ticked off. People say in Baltimore that folks aren't voting because they don't care, and it's not true. They're so frustrated because the leaders don't seem to connect. I got excited a little earlier when everyone was talking about a healthier, wealthier, kind of wise and beautiful philosophy for the weekend, and we need that same kind of philosophy for the city, and we need leaders to have an attitude where they believe, and then they act on that belief as it relates to our citizens. That you want them to be healthier, wealthier, wiser, and beautiful, and that you believe that they are and can be those things. And we haven't had that in terms of leadership. You don't go after a homeowner's home due to late water bills
That's
when
cruddy.
when
Where I come from, that's just plain cruddy.
but these are the people that we have been electing and re-electing and re-electing. And if we want something different, if we want a different type of leadership, I mean, the current mayor has been in office for 17 years, right? And so during that time, these water bill issues have been an issue. During that time, the school system has gone down. During that time, our level of vacancies within our neighborhoods has continued to rise. During that time, we have seen this city shrinking instead of growing. The
Now,
only jurisdiction in the state Only jurisdiction in the state that didn't grow in the last 10 years. The only major city in the Northeast that didn't grow in the last 10 years. That shouldn't be the case. Not without Baltimore. The Baltimore that I know, East Side and West Side, should not be shrinking. We have too much going for us. But if your leadership is elitist and doesn't get that, if they're not vested in the citizens that they're supposed to be serving, then of course you're not going to grow.
what role did you play in this?
Well, the role that I've played has been trying to push an agenda that moves our neighborhoods in the right direction. We were talking a little bit earlier about Park Heights, and I know it very well. Um, not just Palestine and not just Israel, but all of Park Heights. Working from Slade all the way down to Park Circle. Did a master plan for a Park Heights community from Park Circle up to Northern Parkway, those 12 neighborhoods, really trying to bring better investment in both the human and physical capital in there. one of the first things that we did in terms of funding was to go towards youth jobs and opportunity, to go towards workforce training, substance abuse training, so that you could build and advance that the people that are there before you start to build the structures there.
When are they going to start building in Park Heights?
Well, you know what? We started actually investing in the people over 3 years ago. The last 3 summers, we made sure that we had opportunity for youth jobs and for youth camps. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of press about that. You know, they'll do press when someone's shot in Park Heights. They didn't do any press when PCDA, the Pimlico Community Development Authority, was providing funding for those kids so to make sure that they had opportunities during the summer. We provided funding for workforce training through the Center for Urban Families. You know, none of this hits the press. You know, but it's because that's not exciting. If one of us are killing one of us, then that's exciting to people. But we've been about the people's progress. And so I played a role in that, and I'm excited about that role because I think it shows where my priorities have been and where they will be once I'm mayor.
The last development I saw in West Baltimore and East Baltimore goes back to the days of Dan Henson as running the Housing Authority of Baltimore City and the Department of Housing and Community Development. Honestly, I knew that once Mr. Graziano got in there was going to be a learning curve. There were going to be relationships that needed to be established with Washington, D.C., with HUD. We just haven't seen any development in our neighborhood since West Baltimore, East Baltimore, and I think it's because those neighborhoods didn't vote for then Mayor Martin O'Malley. But we haven't seen any development since 1999, 2000.
Well, our neighborhoods have not been a high priority, and I think any learning curve.
Then they killed swimming pools in the middle of summer last summer. It's just like, take you home because you owe a water bill. Cut the pool off in the middle of the summer. Do you understand how we start to view that? We start to view it like this is us and them. And then the harbor, they get spruced up. They put a $5 million TV set there in Camden Yards, and I'm supposed to be excited. I don't even go to the Orioles game. I used to go to junior Orioles game. I would go, but who can afford a $15 hot dog, man?
Well,
you can buy a pack of Hebrew Nationals and some hot dog rolls and watch the game on TV for free.
Well, Donnie, I want people to do more than eat hot dogs or watch the games. I want folks to participate. And the reality is we can complain all day. We can be on the radio till till the East meets the West.
And then you mentioned Park Heights.
Hear me out. And the reality is until we take action, until we take our city back, and when I say we, I mean the citizens of Baltimore. Don talked about the elitists, controlling the city. The citizens have to step up. You cannot keep electing people that do you wrong and then get upset that you've been done wrong. If you take action and thereby elect individuals who understand the needs of the people and who are working towards the success of those people, then we will have a different Baltimore. Until that happens, we will have the same old, same old. And so that's what, whether it is an Orioles game, whether it's Park Heights, whether it's Camden Yards, if people want more, we have to do more. And I think it's been said over and over again, you do better once you know better. We know we can do better, right? And we know that what's been the case has not worked well for us.
But there have been apparently some black people who have gotten paid off to look the other way. My biggest challenge in politics, in government, is black bureaucrats who don't know why they are in position. My understanding, considering the history of our people in this country, in this state, in this city, the purpose of a black bureaucrat is to open the door for his people. Those that can handle the opportunities. If it's home ownership, if it's employment, if it's business opportunities. But you get black people to get in position and then they switch up on you. And I think maybe that's what the caller alluded to in the elitist attitude. I got mine, you got yours to get. You weren't on this team. Oh, well, to the winner goes the spoils of war.
Well, the reality is the only way Baltimore wins is if the majority of the population is winning.
They taking people's houses. They giving you parking tickets if you 2 seconds late. You know what? The first person that sits up here and say they want to be mayor said that I will revisit the parking meter ladies because they just aggressively off the hook. Dude, they going to make somebody seriously catch a charge.
Well, I don't think the parking attendants or the meter men or women are.
Oh, they women.
They are the bulk
Sisters.
of the problem. They're not the bulk of the problem here. The bulk of the problem is failed leadership. And until we address that failed leadership, we're going to continue to have our problems here in Baltimore.
Hey, Doni, can I say this?